Sorry, and that audio is probably going to loop. Thank you again very much to Voyager. We really appreciate it. Before we start our next session, we have a special presentation from one of our two winners of the AAS Molly K. Macauley Award. The Macauley Award seeks to support and recognize future space industry leaders by awarding grants to a set of outstanding college and university students. This was created in 2019. It is named for Molly Macauley, a national leader who some of you, I'm sure, know and worked with, who worked and helped for many years to establish, lead, and guide research projects combining economics with space research. She was a great leader and a mentor for many. Out of many candidates, I think we had a record set of candidate submissions this year. Our selection committee evaluated and selected 10 finalists, and from that, we have two winners of this competition in two different areas. The finalists of the competition all received a $500 travel award to come to a conference. We might have some of the finalists here in the room with us. Feel free to raise your hand if you're a finalist and you're here. Maybe not today, but we do have our two winners here. Our first today is Hugh Chen from Georgia Tech. He is our winner of the Business and Science Policy track of the 2025 Molly K. Macauley Award, and he has received a $2,500 award for this prize, and he is here with us to present his work today. Hugh, congratulations.
Is this the clicker?
Yep.
Do I hit this button?
I think just that one.
Okay. Yep. Hi, everyone. Thank you very much for your time to being here. I'm Hugh Chen. I'm a third-year PhD student at the Low Gravity Science Technology Lab at Georgia Tech. And today here, I'm super excited to be talking about my work on developing a propellant management system for distributed CubeSat architectures. With the global space economy with the projected growth of almost $2 trillion by the year of 2035, small satellites is at the forefront of such growth, with its growth being driven by numerous stakeholders, such as telecommunication providers, Earth observation service, research institutions, and commercial defense contractors. With more and more satellites being put into orbit, a lot of the operators are looking into distributed architectures which enable scalable as well as robust mission designs in the form of formation flying, swarm architectures, and more. However, these architectures require satellites that are capable of self-maneuverability with extended operation capabilities. As such, propulsion systems that offer reliable, simplistic, high ISP as well as reliable impulse delivery systems are highly sought after. In particular, cube gas propulsion systems that relies on self-pressurizing propellants such as RT-36F8 are highly utilized. However, managing these propellants in microgravity is no easy task, owing to challenges imposed by such as conformal propellant tank geometries, two-phase propellant storage, and more. Coupled with the fact that the concurrent propellant management strategies for these systems, such as the two-tank planar systems, are volumetrically inefficient, with upwards of 30% of the volumetric penalty of the system, there's a clear need for a more scalable and compact propellant management system. As such, our lab proposed a novel propellant management strategy through the usage of a thermocapillary propellant management device, also known as a PMD. Our experiment, vaporization for propellant repositioning vapor experiment, operates on the principle of thermally induced phase change, in which a heater is placed into a propellant tank, which is containing of a two-phase mixture of the propellant. By activation of this heater, vaporization of the propellant surrounding it will occur, and causing a pressure rise within the propellant tank that then drives a condensation of the ullage at the colder regions of the tank. As the heater is being surrounded by the generated ullage caused by coalescence, the bubble is going to continue to shrink. Couple this with the fact that we can place this heater next to the outlet, we can then extract the ullage to generate thrust for our satellite maneuvers. So now, let's talk about our experiment. The first one is going to be our vapor experiment. The vapor experiment is carried on a series of parabolic flight offered by the Series G Corporation through the NASA Tech Flights program. And it is intended to test a collection of PMDs in their abilities to reposition and retain ullage during this process. These PMDs, as shown on the right-hand side, features different heater configurations and capillary structures to retain a generated ullage. Beneath Vapor is going to be our free-floating platform, Vapor Drift, which is designed to intend to provide a high-quality microgravity quality that is used to test experiments that are sensitive to residual acceleration, such as the one on the bottom right, the sponge start basket, which implements a capillary wedge structures, which is used to introduce phase separation of the ullage. As you can see from this side-by-side comparison of our most recent parabolic flight test campaign, it is shown that all of our PMDs are successful in repositioning our propellant under the limited duration of microgravity. It is also shown that our capillary structures in all three of these PMD architectures are successful in capturing the ullage. There's also additional lessons that we've learned from this, including the importance of thermal inertia in the design considerations, as well as material compatibility. Moving forward, we're trying to demystify the uncertainty surrounding the thermophyletic evolution of our self-pressurizing propellants when we're undergoing ventilation or ullage expulsion from the system. Particularly, we're looking for the location of vaporization's occurrence during this process. Here is our vapor vents experiment in which we have a side-by-side comparison of a control tank in which no ventilation of the propellant is occurring, and on the right-hand side is our venting system. We can note that during this ventilation process, the ullage within the thermostat baskets rapidly contracts, while vaporization is simultaneously occurring within the propellant management device and exterior to it along the heater segment. It's also worth noting that, as indicated by the off, when the valve is closing, there's accelerated ullage growth along the heater elements, suggesting that these extruding heating elements are acting as unintended thermal hotspots that are causing unintended vaporization outside the control volume, effectively reducing our vapor extraction efficiency and highlighting the importance of thermal confinement in our design. Last but not least, we took advantage of the similarities between self-pressurizing propellants and cryogenic propellants in the way that are both two-phase in nature and decided to test one of our proposed magnetic control methods for cryogenic thermal management systems. So, historically, cryogenic systems are plagued by parasitic heat leaks, which manifest themselves in the form of thermal hotspots. And using magnetic positive positioning, we'll then be able to essentially capture the vaporized propellant within these boil-off spots and essentially cause them to coalesce, forming an installative area and reducing the heat flux into the system. Eventually, we'll hope these systems will be able to enable space-based cryogenic storage and propellant transfer in the long run. Here's experimental footage from this experiment. It is enabled by our vapor drift free-flowing platform owing to the sensitivity of magnetic positive positioning in microgravity. On the left is also our PMD experiment that I mentioned earlier, featuring the sponge style basket. Both of them are successful. On the left, we can see that our PMD are clearly repositioning, aka boiling, our system, generating the ullage, as well as our MPP, magnetic positive positioning experiment, were successful in attracting the generated ullage from a simulated hotspot on the top, and essentially forming a coalescence of installative layer shielding off from heat influx. So, to sum up our many discoveries in these parabolic flight campaigns, and we have more coming up, we can first draw from the vapor experiments that thermocapillary PMDs are effective in repositioning and retaining our propellant in microgravity. And from a vapor vent experience, we're able to show that uncontrolled thermal hotspots will promote vaporization outside our unintended control volume, highlighting the importance of thermal confinement in order to enhance our vaporization extraction efficiency. There's plenty of future work to be done, as usual. We can always optimize our PMD designs, and we're looking into building a full-on repositioning and then ventilate impulse delivery system within a vacuum chamber to characterize the system and make it more robust and increases TRL. We also have 2 more parabolic flight campaigns coming up, so we're looking forward to those as well. So, overall, the vapor technology supports the advancement of distributed CubeSat architectures, including formation, flying, and reconfigurable constellations. It is addressing a critical gap in this rapidly growing, multi-million-dollar small satellite communities, and our laboratory is actively pursuing the transition of such towards commercial applications. And lastly, I would like to thank the AAS for the award once again, and I intend to carry Ms. Macaulay's legacy by dedicating myself to advancing these technologies that will hope they bring us further into space. Thank you.